Welcome to the Human 5 Project, the podcast where we cut straight to the breakthroughs that matter, the show where science meets self-optimization. I'm your host, Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and here we break down the real research, real data, and real dosing behind modern biohacking, from compounds and peptides to techniques, devices, lifestyle strategies, and performance protocols. Most people jump in and jump out before they get the gold, so we're keeping it tight and delivering the essential insights you need without the fluff. If you've taken the time to hit play, we'll make sure you walk away with valuable knowledge that can transform your approach to longevity, health optimization, and beyond. All right, today's part 2 episode is for the adults because the internet is loud, before and after photos are louder, and 5-Amino 1MQ is sitting in that perfect storm where hype moves faster than human data. So let's do what we do here. Be curious, trust but verify, stay open-minded, and learn how to evaluate this like a scientist, not a hype animal. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm JP, Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and this is the Human 5.0 Project, where we don't worship compounds, we interrogate them. Quick disclaimer, this is educational. 5-Amino 1MQ is not an approved treatment. I'm not telling you to take anything. I'm telling you how to think and how to evaluate claims responsibly, especially before human trials report clean outcomes. So let's start with a rule that will save you money, stress, and regret. If the evidence is early, your confidence should be humble. Here's what a smart and ethical mindset looks like. First, you separate mechanism from outcome. A mechanism can be real and still not translate. NNMT affects NAD salvage can be true. It doesn't automatically mean this will melt fat in humans. Mechanism is the trailer. Human outcomes are the movie. 2. You respect the difference between research and medicine. If it's not clinically validated, you treat it like uncertain territory, because it is. 3. You avoid the two extremes. Extreme number 1, it's poison. Anyone who touches it is insane. Extreme number 2, it's perfect. Everyone needs it. Both extremes are emotional, and we are here for signal. Number 4, you don't outsource judgment to influencers. Influencers aren't regulated, anecdotes aren't controlled, and a coach with affiliate links is not your safety board. If your source is trying to sell you something, their certainty will be sponsored. 5. You keep the ethics straight. If someone is doing human experimentation without proper oversight, that's a problem. And if you have medical conditions, pregnancy, chronic disease, serious meds, don't play guesswork. That's not biohacking, that's roulette. Now, let's talk about the internet, because this is where most people learn, and this is where most people get confused. Here's the checklist I use when someone posts, "Drop 20 pounds without changing anything." So first, without changing anything is almost never true. People change sleep, steps, stress, meal timing, alcohol, sodium intake without even noticing. And I didn't change anything usually means I didn't track anything. Second, watch for water weight masquerading as fat loss. Rapid scale drops can be less glycogen, less inflammation, less sodium retention, less food volume. Not all weight loss is fat loss. The best before and after is not a photo. It's a DEXA scan, waist measurement, or consistent conditions. Third, confounders, the stuff nobody admits. When someone claims a miracle, ask, were they also on a GLP-1? Thyroid meds? Stimulants? A new training plan? A break from binge eating? A new breakup-induced appetite loss? I'm not joking here. Humans are messy. Fourth, the placebo effect is real and powerful if someone believes they're on the fat loss compound. They often eat a little cleaner, skip late night snacks, train harder, move more, without even calling it a change. Now, placebo doesn't mean fake. It means expectation changes behavior, and behavior changes outcomes. Number 5, regression to the mean. Many people start a cycle at their worst. The highest weight, worst labs, worst stress. So improvement would have happened anyway, even without a compound. 6, the most credible logs share the boring details. The logs that really matter include consistent weigh-ins, like the same time, weight measurement protocols, food intake baseline, step count, sleep, objective labs. If the post is only before and after plus vibes, it's content, not data. Now the big question. If real human trials start publishing, or if clinicians start monitoring in real settings, what do we actually want to track? And this can apply to anything, not just 5-amino-1-MQ. So let's split this into 3 buckets. A, efficacy markers. Is it working? These are your did anything meaningful happen metrics. Body composition, weight, but not weight alone, waist circumference, body fat percent via DEXA, which would be the gold standard, or consistent bioimpedance conditions. Progress photos under consistent lighting and pose would be a secondary marker. Glucose control, such as fasting glucose, fasting insulin, hemoglobin A1C, HOMA-IR derived, or maybe optional OGTT if you're in a clinical setting. Lipids and cardiometabolic, look at triglycerides, HDL, LDL, although ideally ApoB, and blood pressure. Liver studies, that would be ALT, AST, GGT, and maybe in a research clinic, an ultrasound or an MRI PDFF for liver fat. Now, this is the trust but verify lane for NNMT biology. 1-methylnicotinamide, or 1-MNA, not serum or urine, because that depends on lab access. NAD plus related measures, harder in routine care, usually specialized. Nicotinamide metabolite panels, again, it's specialized. And these aren't always accessible, but in trials they help answer, did we actually inhibit NNMT in humans the way we did in animals? Safety markers. Is it causing collateral damage? This is the most important bucket because nobody cares about fat loss if your labs go sideways. So basic safety, CBC, CMP, which would measure your kidney and your electrolytes, creatinine, EGFR, liver enzymes, fasting lipids. Inflammatory markers, HSCRP. Methylation-related caution lane, because NNMT intersects with methyl donor usage. A reasonable safety add-on in trials could include homocysteine, B12, folate, heart and muscle, if symptoms are higher risk cohort. So that would be resting heart rate and blood pressure, EKG in a trial setting, troponin only if clinically indicated, CK if there are muscular symptoms, and then some things that are subjective but not meaningful for tracking: sleep quality, anxiety, mood, GI symptoms, energy, training performance. And here's a practical truth. If a compound works but wrecks sleep, mood, or digestion, it's not a win. It's just a different kind of metabolic tax. So how to spot a quality evidence as it arrives? When human data starts coming out, here's what we should demand. Randomized controlled trials, not everyone improved, compared to placebo. Clear dosing with duration and endpoints. If they don't define duration, dosing schedule, primary endpoints, you can't interpret anything. Look for the boring tables. Tables are way more important than testimonials. Safety reporting must be explicit. Adverse events, lab shifts, and discontinuation reasons. If safety is vague, assume it's incomplete. Before we talk dosing, I need to say this clearly. There is no published, standardized human dosing regimen for 5-amino-1-MQ, and it's not an approved therapy. So what I'm about to share is not a recommendation. It's a snapshot of what certain wellness clinics and online protocols claim they use in practice, which is not the same as clinical evidence. But I do want to include it because obviously people need some information somewhere, and I've been able to get it in a concise fashion and drop it in here. So across multiple clinic-style protocol pages, the most commonly advertised oral approach is a starting range of 50 to 100 milligrams orally once a day. If titrated in those protocols, it's sometimes moved to twice a day based on tolerance. Cycle length is commonly stated to be 4 to 12 weeks. Most of the peer-reviewed efficacy work used rodent dosing and often non-oral routes, for instance, subcutaneous, sometimes multiple daily doses, rather than a proven oral human schedule. Oral pharmacokinetic work exists in animals, but that still doesn't equal a validated human regimen. So if you're hearing confident, exact protocols online, understand what that really is. Informal practice patterns and marketing, not randomized human trial dosing. So here's the real bottom line. 5-amino-1-MQ is scientifically interesting because NNMT is a real metabolic node. Animal data can be promising, but humans are not mice, and internet posts are not trials. If you want to be a real human 5.0 operator, you do 3 things. You separate hype from evidence, track what matters, and respect what we don't know yet. Be curious, be open-minded, and be uninfluenced. Thanks for listening to the Human Upgrade Project. If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready to elevate their biology. Make sure to follow the show for weekly deep dives into peptides, protocols, devices, lifestyle strategies, and the science of high-performance longevity. Until next time, stay curious, stay optimized, and stay 10x